Hello dear students of Standard 10. Welcome to DAV Moyle Public School. I am your social science teacher Nitin Pushpatode. Students, today I will take the revision of power sharing part first. So let's start our today's online session. In this lesson we will discuss about the comparison between Belgium and Sri Lanka with respect to power sharing, then population, ethnic groups, geographical composition, and so on. Okay, first of all, Belgium. Students, what about the population of Belgium? Listen, Belgium has a population of little over 1 crore. Okay, that means about the half of the population of Haryana state. Then ethnic group. Okay, the ethnic composition of this small country is a very complex. Out of the total percent of the population, 59% lives in the Flemish region and they speak Dutch language. Another 40% people live in the Wallonia region and they speak French language. Then remaining 1% of the Belgians speak German. Okay, which language? German language. So in the capital city Brussels, 80% people speak French while 20% are Dutch speaking people. Students, the given graphical picture depicts a message about the Belgium religions: Catholics, Christians, Muslims, Buddhism. These religious people are living in a Belgium. So students, out of the total population, 57% Catholics are there, then 7% Christians are there, 5% Muslims are there, and 31% Buddhism are there. So this is the ethnic composition of Belgium. Okay, which is the capital of Belgium? What about the geographical position of Belgium? Listen, Belgium is a federal state in a Western Europe. It is area-wise and population-wise smaller than the state of Haryana. Students, Brussels city is the capital of Belgium. Then Belgium has borders with Netherlands, France, Germany and Luxembourg. That means Belgium share its boundaries with Netherlands, Germany, France and Luxembourg countries. So this is the geographical position. Yes students, in the given map you can observe Belgium share its boundary with Netherlands, Germany, Luxembourg and France. Students, what about the tensions between the French and Dutch communities? Listen, the social disparity led to the tensions between Dutch and French speaking communities during the 1950s and 1960s. This tension was more acute in Brussels with the special problem. It was that the Dutch speaking people constituted a majority in the country but a minority in the capital. Yes students, so this is the tensions between French and Dutch communities. Tension. Okay, this is the tension between French and Dutch community. Which one? There is a majority with respect to language. Next point is accommodation in Belgium. What do you mean by accommodation? Listen, accommodation means a convenient arrangement or settlement or compromise. The Belgium leaders took a different path by recognizing the existence of regional differences and cultural diversities of the country. Between the 1970s and 1993, that means during this period, the constitution of Belgium was amended 4 times. Okay, students, I am telling about that amended. Listen, first amendment, the constitution prescribes that the number of Dutch and French speaking ministers shall be equal in the central government. Okay, so it is the most important amendment in the constitution of Belgium. Second amendment, listen, the state governments are not subordinate to the central government. That means more powers of the central government have been given to the state governments of two regions of the country. Listen students, this amendment depicts the message about the power sharing. Yes. Third amendment, listen, Brussels has a separate government in which both the Dutch and French speaking people have equal representation. And last amendment is, apart from the central and the state government, there is a third kind of government, that means community government, It is elected by the people belonging to one language community like Dutch, French, German speaking, okay, and no matter where they live. The government has the power regarding the cultural, educational, and the language related issues. Yes, so it's called the community government. So this is the accommodation in a Belgium. Okay, let us discuss about Sri Lanka with respect to geographical position, area and population, ethnic composition, and religion. Sri Lanka is an island nation just a few kilometers off the southern coast of Tamil Nadu. Students, what about the population of Sri Lanka? Sri Lanka has 2 crore population. Sri Lanka has a diverse population. Okay, that means the major social groups are the Sinhala speakers and the Tamil speakers. So students, there are the 74% are the Sinhala speakers people in Sri Lanka, and there are the 18% Tamil speakers in Sri Lanka. Tamil natives of country are called the Sri Lankan Tamils, and students, there are the 13% Sri Lankan Tamils in Sri Lanka. Then the rest whose forefathers came from India as a plantation workers during the colonial period. Okay, they are called the Indian Tamils. Okay, students, as you can see from the map, yes, in the given map, Sri Lankan Tamils are connected in the north and east of the country. Most of the Sinhala speakers people are Buddhist, while most of the Tamils are Hindus or Muslims. There are about the 7% Christians for both Tamils and Sinhala. Students, in the given graphical picture, you are observing this is the ethnic composition of the Sri Lanka. Hinduism, Buddhism, Sikhism, Chinese, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, and the others. Okay, so this is the ethnic composition of Sri Lanka. But the two major social groups are there. Which are Sinhala speakers 74% and Tamil speakers. Okay, so this is the information of Sri Lanka. So with the help of this information, definitely we can compare the Sri Lanka and Belgium with respect to that given points. Okay, what about the majoritarianism of Sri Lanka? Okay, listen students, what do you mean by the majoritarianism in Sri Lanka? Listen, majoritarianism is a concept which signifies a belief that the majority community should be able to rule a country in whichever way it wants by disregarding the wishes and needs of the minority. When Sri Lanka became independent in 1948, the leaders of the Sinhala community established a dominance over the government by virtue of their majority. That means in 1948 there was Sinhala community government in Sri Lanka. In 1956, an act was passed to recognize Sinhala as the only official language, thus disregarding the Tamil. Yes, due to that act, there was conflict between the Tamil and Sinhala. The government follows the preferential policies that favored Sinhala applicants with respect to the university positions and the government jobs. A new constitution stipulated that the state shall protect and promote Buddhism. So with the passage of time, there was the relation between Sinhala and Tamil communities became strained over time. Students, what about the struggles of Sri Lankan Tamils? Listen, the Sri Lankan Tamils launched the parties and struggles for the recognition of Tamil as an official language. They demanded regional autonomy and equality of opportunity in securing education and jobs like Sinhala community. But their demand was denied by the Sinhala group. Then by the 1980s, several political organizations like LETTE, that means Liberation Tigers of Tamil Ilam, were formed for what purpose? For demanding an independent Tamil Ilam. That means for demanding the independent Tamil state in a northern and eastern part of Sri Lanka. The conflict between the two communities, that means in between the Sinhala and Tamil, so it soon turned into a civil war. So students, what was the result of that struggle? Listen, the civil war resulted in the killing of thousands of the people of both the communities. This civil war also caused a terrible setback to the social, cultural and economic life of the country. Many families were forced to leave the country as refugees and lots of the people lost their livelihood. So this is the information about the Majoritarianism in Sri Lanka and the struggles of Sri Lankan Tamils and Sinhala and the result of civil war. Okay students, it's time to check your knowledge. So here are some questions as your assignment. You have to write the answers of these questions. Students, I will take the revision of remaining portion of this lesson in the next online session. So till then, thank you very much and have a nice day.